Greetings everyone and welcome back to Factory Town, where in the last episode we set up our very distant Earth Temple, which is now pumping Earth mana into our system, which is currently being directed all the way down here and then around the rest of the ring. Now the ring currently isn't too complicated, but I've got a funny feeling that it is going to get worse over time, and that's something that we're going to need to deal with. But before we get to that, I would very much like to see our Earth crystals being used in our school. Now, to that end, this will consume the resource in this case. So we're going to want to pull down the mana out of the ether. So mana receiver will be necessary, followed immediately, if we stick it here, we could stockpile things, but I'm favoring the idea of having a little bit of extra room for this. So let's pop down the receiver here. We will have a chute leading directly into the school, but should there be a time when we no longer have enough room for the earth crystals, or perhaps the earth crystals are no longer necessary, we will also set up a mana transmitter to take the crystals back out of the network. There we go. That should be all we need. Now, all we have to do here is pop down some mana pipes and we should be good to go. So let's hook this up something like this and then back down into the system. At this stage, we could also add in some logistics just to make things a little bit easier for us. For example, a sorter would be useful. If we pop a sorter there and tell it to sort earth crystals, let's have a look at you. It'll only push earth crystals down that route. Let's see if this works as intended. Let's have a quick watch of this. That should go past. There we go. Perfect. We've got a little overflow just in case we get so many earth crystals in the network that it gets a little bit unmanageable for our system. But that should work nicely. Now, I've been having a good old think about the way that our current setup is made, and I have had an opportunity to read quite a few of the comments, and I do agree with those who've said that perhaps we should be looking to set this up with local recharging. As much as it is pretty cool to have the whole thing in one long network, I'm thinking more of having this as some sort of mana highway that is fed almost exclusively from our mana storage. Then we'll peel off the necessary mana to take it to a location where we have something else to do with it. Now, let's have a look down here. And notice there that we seem to have a bit of a problem. Not exactly ideal. Okay, well, we're going to need some stone down here. We could do with a couple of things, honestly. Let's leave you... Yeah, we'll leave you there for a moment. Now, if we have a look into the buildings that we've got, we will have the Earth Shrine. Once we have researched this, it will regenerate supplies of nearby natural resources using transmitted Earth mana power. Now, that is extremely attractive to us. We are definitely going to need to get a better mana brick production somewhere, though. That much is a definite. Now, we could set something up like that up down here if we really wanted to, and I'm somewhat tempted to do so, but I would ultimately like somewhere a little bit flatter, a little bit easier for us to set up a magic production. Let's have a wee look around for that. Now, it would be nice if we had a little flat area. It doesn't need to specifically be hooked up to any kind of network, because all the Mana Forge needs is regular mana crystals, some fire, some fuel. We can provide that from a tree farm and stone. Now, the nice thing about all of this is we can place stone down, and as you are probably already guessing, based on what I was just reading, we might not need an awful lot of stone if we can regenerate that resource. Now, I noticed there's a lot of coal and stone just over here. It's a rather auspicious location for us, I think. Right next to all of the mana that's being produced, I think this is going to be a perfect location for a mine. So let's go ahead and plonk down a mine. I want to get this area much better set up for large-scale production. So this should be able to gather both coal and stone. And that will mean we're no longer going to need all of the wood being fed in here. So let's go ahead and get rid of that for now. There we go. All of that gone forever. There we go. Perfect. Right. Now, with that, we could move our stonemason magic forge over here. And that's probably not a bad idea, honestly. Sure. Let's go ahead and lower this terrain a bit. We'll increase the brush size. Though it does leave for rather ugly landscapes, and that does hurt me a little bit. On the inside. On the inside, it's not good. No. There we go. That'll do for now. I think that'll be a large enough area for us to play with. Right, first and foremost, I would like a mine brought over here. I would like the mine facing... sure, we can have it facing toward in that regard. We can have this rotated around if we would particularly like to. And then finally, we can move the magic forge itself. I'd like the magic forge about there, which means I want you over one more. Have a little bit of room for things to move around. Now, we are going to want coal to be fed into the magic forge, stone to be fed into the mason, and then brick to be fed back into the magic forge before ultimately we get all of that fed into a barn. All nice and neat and tidy. It'll be very, very good, I think. Right. Now, we are going to want the mana blocks brought over here. We'll get those delivered, I think. I think that's probably going to be the best way of doing it. Now, these should be extracting. If we set up a little grabber on these. Once again, we'll have them facing the wrong direction to start with. And then we'll feed into the correct location straight after that. Now, I don't need the grabber here. I could have just fed it that way. But I think that actually looks quite nice, so we're going to be going with that one. Right, so there we are. Stone brick. Face that the right way. That is not what we wanted. Let's go now for... We want coal. Coal can start feeding out. And then finally, we want stone. And that can start feeding out as well. And this should all start working rather nicely. Now, you may notice we've got some air boosters. These kind of work like steam power. And different buildings will have different elemental boosters. So, for example, here we can use an air booster on stonemason. And mine, I believe, is likely going to have an earth booster. I would be very surprised if a forge, maybe not the magic forge, but a regular forge at the very least, wouldn't use a fire booster. I have no idea what a water booster would be, but maybe a farm. That might be one that would benefit from that one. So we're going to take advantage of that, but we'll wait a little bit longer before we do that. Now, you... wait, of course. Do the bricks not get drawn out by this? Oh, do they really not? No, they do not. My bad on that one. We will get that sorted, of course. Let's get all of that gone. I'm afraid you are surplus to demand. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Well, you're not the weakest link. You did a really, really good job, and we wouldn't be here without you. Let's not be scallywags about this. Right. Okay, well, let's get metal conveyors. Sure. We'll upgrade to metal conveyors. There we are. Now, we are going to need the mana transmitter to bring along the necessary mana. So let's pop this right down here. Now, I could have a buffer if I really wanted it, so that we'd always have plenty of mana crystals. And in this particular instance, I think so. Let's go ahead and build ourselves a silo. There we go. Perfect. Right, and all we need to do now is hook this one up to the mana pipe network. Wrong button. There we go. Now, currently this is the end of the loop, but I'd actually prefer to change the loop a little bit, if I'm perfectly honest. I don't feel that we really need to be pushing all of this. Oh, there we go. The Earth Shrine, the Protection Spellbook, the Necklace, and the Earth Booster are all unlocked. Okay, with that then, we can stop doing this. So this sorter, I would like you set to... What are we going to want next? Probably... Oh, water or fire crystals? Is there a way of me to... I'm going to just disable that for now. Unfortunately, that one already got grabbed, but it's going to come straight back through because it's no longer needed by the school. Ah, fantastic. A bit of forethought, eh? Bit of forethought. Though, that being said, unfortunately, our school here does have an inventory full of crystals that we no longer want. So what we can do here is just pull all of those out. So let's pop that in. We should be able to yank all of the crystals out of storage and back into the main system. Oh, wait, what's happening there? Oh, I see. Yes, these items were going in this direction because it was a bit of a backlog, but that should eventually just empty out and everything should be fine once again. And again, since it's not needed here, it should, hopefully, just feed back into the transmitter. One would imagine. Why is that not happening? Is it overfull? No, it doesn't seem to be. All right, well, yes, no. Oh, it seems to have a bit of a backlog all of its own there. That's fine. For the time being, we can just allow that to push through. Maybe we will have to have a rethink of that one. There might have been a bit of a problem there. But nevertheless, that's all sorted. But which one do we want to go for next? Let's have a quick look. What would we get from water crystals? Get the water shrine. Elixir. Add a water booster. Okay, well, if we could have something that would benefit farms, I'd be all for that. Okay, sure. We're going to go for the water purification next. Let's start that one up and running. And I'm going to change this one to water crystals from now on. There we go. And we can turn that back on. Perfect. But as I was saying, I would like to peel off the mana that we need down here rather than sending the entirety of our mana supply all over the place where it's not needed. So with that in mind, let's have a quick look at our mana network. I think we can improve this by quite a large margin, actually. If you remember, we do want the loop to feed into this section here. We don't want a straight up loop. We want things to have to go through this. So that's going to stay, but we can tidy up our mana network a bit, I feel. So let's head on down. Ooh, okay. Oh, maybe not quite as much as I would like. Perhaps we might want to adjust this area. In fact, sure, let's go ahead and buy it. It's only 15,000. What's everyone complaining about? There we go. Let's go ahead and build out our mana pipes around here. So we want along this line, I'm saying, for now. There we are. And is that roughly in the right place? Yes, it is. Perfect. Right. Okay, so we're going to want the mana pipes coming more or less right down here, like so. We'll clean that up. There we go. And our mana pipes over here, running all the way up and around. There we go. Right, so that means we can have this happily connected there. And we can... Oh, that was bad of me. We can start recovering our mana pipes. Oh, wait, let me go and check on my base. Ah, no, we've been losing mana pipes. Well. Unfortunate is very unfortunate, but there we go. We do need to address this at some point. Our base currently collects anything that we delete, and it's quite important for us to not have it do that. Or at the very least for it to extract those items, because the base is where all of our refunded resources go. Are you gathering? Don't do that anymore. No, go away. Right, there we are. Because we've got way too much leather, we can just dump a lot of that resource out there. But as a direct result of that, what we had there is we had an overflow. There was no room for it, so it was actually being deleted at that point, and that is quite unfortunate. Quite unfortunate if you ask me. There we go. Let's get all of this sorted out. I think in the future it would be a very, very good system to have it built up in such a way that we no longer had mana being, or rather the base being the main drop-off for any kind of resource, and in fact the base should exist once you're outside of the very early game. Should exist largely as an emergency drop-off rather than a main drop-off, and then anything in there should ideally be extracted straight away. Alright, I am going to want to pull a lot of these mana pipes away. What we're going to do down here is I want very specific resources sent in this direction. Right now we want basic white mana and also water. So let's create a little loop that'll specifically help with that. So we want another mana pipe, I think, probably around here, going along. There we go. And the issue here is that, well, actually, no, both of these will consume their mana. So perhaps we should have two separate loops here. That being said, no, this one I believe does use the power up. Let me have a quick look. Does this consume the book? No, it just requires the power. All right. We can do this in a bit of a different way then. I had forgotten about that. Given that then, how about we separate these groups? I think that would be ideal. I would like an overflow over here if we could have one to return it back to this pipe network if necessary. That said, the water will be pushed down here. The white mana will be pushed all the way up here. Okay, we're going to change things up just a little bit. And I'm going to do this in a fairly brute force way. We're going to delete everything and then start fresh. So we want the mana pipes heading up here. I would like there to be a nice big old loop all the way around. And then this will return back to the main pipe. That way, if we do have any runoff, we can get that runoff back into the system a normal way. So we can have something like that. There we go. That's a nice little connection there. Now, down here, I would like white mana to be peeled off and fed up. In that case, I would like that mana to ideally return and be recharged. So something like that. I'm going to probably aim to have all of my mana needs managed locally where I can. We'll peel off a little bit here and there from the main pipe, but generally speaking, they'll then go through little top-up areas. And once we've seeded it a little bit, we won't really need to add more to it. Once there's a little bit of regular mana over here, we probably wouldn't ever need any more. So we would be able to adjust that as necessary. Right, so let's head on back down to the main view. And here we should be able to build our mana receiver. Let's get you in place. Right, where do I need to place? Ooh. Actually, I guess it doesn't really matter too much. Did I get it right? Nah, close enough. It isn't actually. We're going to move it. There we go. We're going to need a mana recharger. And finally, a mana transmitter as well. Now, these are expensive things to build, unfortunately. But that's just the way it's going to have to be. All right, there we go. That should then feed back into this loop. So what we're going to build down here is another sorter. We want to push white crystals in here if available. There we go. And then everything else can return back to the main system. Now we can easily put a little sorter down at the bottom here just to push in white crystals. Eventually then that'll be blue crystals. But we'll keep this little system just in case we ever need to top it up in the future. So we'll pop down a basic sorter right here. Oops, that is not quite what I wanted, but that's fine. We'll just have basic white mana crystals, and that should start feeding into our system. And once we've got a couple of mana crystals in there, we shouldn't have to have any more being diverted this way. There we are. That actually does use them up very quickly. Probably faster than we can recharge them. So it might actually be to our benefit to have a couple of these. Quite a few mana crystals in the system. Maybe even constantly topping them up, frankly, because this does drain this power very quickly. It takes 4 whole crystals to make a book, does it? No, well, it might do, yeah. It might actually require 4 crystals worth. Yes, it requires 4 crystals to make a single book. Okay, that's actually quite a lot. Maybe we'll have white mana just constantly circling around here until this system is just pregnant with white mana. There we go. We're starting to see a bit of a backlog now. That is good. What I would ultimately like to see is just a constant stream of white mana in there. The next thing then, we can add in blue mana in the future. But at the moment, we could just let this go until this system is properly primed. That should be good. Now, with that in mind, we are going to need to do a few things very similar down here. First and foremost, we're going to want to bring some white mana across. And because it will annoy me with the mana just going straight through the mountain, we're actually going to level this mountain, I think. There's a part of me that feels bad about this. I'll be honest with you, but it's not feeling bad enough for me not to do it. Oh wow, actually we're creating a bit of a caldera. Yeah, sure, we can turn this into a volcano accidentally. Sure, I don't have too much of a problem with that. We're not being particularly fine with our adjustments here, but good enough, I think. There we go. Something along these lines should be fine. I want to try and keep some sort of character to the landscape. I'm one of those Minecraft players that, for example, builds with the landscape rather than against it, and I just feel that my buildings are all the better for it because they're a little bit more interesting because I've had to build around the naturally occurring features of the land. There we go. Something like that will do. Right, we're going to want to peel off, specifically at the start, just white mana. And we're going to want it to come down more or less here. So let's go ahead, grab the mana pipes. And, ooh, well, that does cause me a little bit of a problem. We don't actually need this ring there anymore. So let's pull this back. We're going to be hooking this up in a very different way. I would very much like to peel off white mana in pretty much 3 different places. And down here, we will go for white mana. Because this one is a recharging area. These 2 will flat out consume it. So we're going to want to peel this down right about there. There we go. And we'll also get rid of these splitters, since it really should only be white mana being brought down here. Actually, ideally, maybe even splitting her off a little bit earlier, perhaps. We'll see. But we can split it there. The only type of mana I want being brought down here is going to be white mana. So we don't need to worry about too much else down here. But I will want a splitter, just to ensure that things are being evenly shared. So let's pop that there. There we go. And we'll also then get another sorter. We'll have the sorter facing the wrong way to start with, until I've got white mana set up, and then I can... Oh, right, okay. Well, not quite what I wanted, I'll be honest. But okay. We should be able to just go straight down, burn off some of this mana. If we get the move tool, then I should be able to just remove this from the system entirely. There we go. Not sure where the purple mana went, the earth mana, but well, it's gone now. Right, so we should start seeing mana being delivered over here. We are going to want a little bit split off in this direction, but only a little. Now, the main thing that I'm worried about here is this is going to back up horribly, and then there's going to be 2 silos worth of mana down there as well, which is not exactly ideal. Over here, we are going to want to remove these pushes. This will siphon it out. If we have it going in on this side and then coming back around, it's probably going to be a better system, I'm thinking. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll have it split off there, and then build up. We can have it. We're going to have to remove all of the piping there, as it was facing the wrong direction. The receiver, recharger, transmitter. The transmitter can feed back into the system as a whole. That will do very, very nicely. That being said, eventually we're probably going to want to set up mining of the yellow crystals over here. So with that in mind, perhaps maybe a bit of a different system. We can think ahead here and preempt our specific scenario. So receiver, recharger, transmitter, and then we can feed it back in. That will be a little bit better for us as a whole. Actually, I'd prefer it like this if we can, because that would allow us to set up a mine over here for the air crystals. If we can regenerate those resources, that'll actually be pretty awesome. Why have we seen no white crystals coming down this way? That would be why. It has completely backed up. Okay. That's an interesting one. Well, we know for the most part we're only going to get... yeah, it has completely backed up the system. All right then. So we do always need a bit of an overflow, just in case. All right. Well, we could have. Let's get rid of that then. Allow these regular mana crystals to flow free. We would have a pusher somewhere around here, generally diverting the crystals in this direction, but if they can't, release them. I think that would be a better system. So something like this, that can come in there and down. Unfortunately, these ones are going to have to go. This can move up and also across. And this way we can build a pusher. If there's enough room, pusher in that direction. But if not, don't worry over much about it. There we are. That'll work quite nicely, I think. That recharger will take quite some time to finish its job. We can have a sorter, but probably then the sorters, because they block if they can't send in that direction. Now, that is not something that I was expecting. So instead, let's have pushers that are set to a specific type of color. There we go. And if we grab this, no, can I not? There we go. And set this one to water crystals for now. There we are. That should work. This one will push it that way if it can. If it cannot, then it'll get fed back out of the system, and that'll all work quite nicely for us. Okay, so by the same token, we're probably going to want something similar down here. I mean, I could have a pusher just pushing that over here instead of a sorter. If there's no room in that direction for a white crystal, it won't be allowed past. Now, I don't want any other mana to be getting in this direction, realistically speaking, but no, I think ultimately we're probably going to want pushers. Since I am building the system to be able to handle the wrong mana coming down here, it seems... Oh, can I grab that one? There we go. It seems to make sense to set this up correctly. There we go. That should all work. Since we can handle any kind of mana coming down here, it'll just get filtered out. We can use pushes and that'll be fine. Over here, however, we can only handle white mana. So we are going to need to build a filter block right here and set that one up only to allow white mana through. At that point, we can delete this and we can put a basic pusher. It will allow any type of mana any type of white mana to get through if there is room for it. There we go. That will work. In this case, it doesn't matter over much, but generally speaking, this one we have to be a lot more careful with. Right, so this will recharge the mana refiner. We can go ahead then and build my receiver. Let's flatten the land just a little bit, just in case. There we go, and bring this out a little bit. That should be fine. Right, so we're going to want a receiver. Now, these are costing me quite a lot of money, quite a lot of mana stones, rather, to build, but it's worth it, I think. Want another recharger, and then finally, a transmitter as well. And if we're very lucky... see, therein is the problem. Very expensive for mana stones, and we're not producing any more. So... at this stage, well, we kind of are, just very haltingly. Right, have we got everything set up here? Yes, we have. Why are you not extracting then? This should, by all means, be drawing these bricks straight out of you. Stone blocks. You've got an output of stone block bricks. Why is that not working? Is there something wrong there? That I'm not entirely sure on. Oh, stone bricks can't be extracted that way. What a derp. What an ultimate derp I am. Let's go ahead and use the conveyors then. I think I only need a grabber because I'm only making one item in here. I keep forgetting what can and what cannot be pulled by grabbers. I like a fool. There we go, though. That should take care of everything we need. I am really tempted to drop the amount of workers we've got in here to 1. And generally speaking, that's my feeling towards all workers at the moment. We kind of want to be moving much closer to a state where we barely have any any buildings with multiple workers in them, but just because we're getting so little increase in productivity from the amount of workers we've got. If we have a look here in the Magic Forge, each extra worker is only giving me 25%. That is not a particularly high percentage there. I don't feel that is quite enough. Let's have a look down here. Is this system properly primed? Yes, that's actually very, very well set up there. Do we have any stowed items? No, we're full on books, so we're just not pulling any energy right now. That's fine. How are we doing for storage? We're doing really well. Got 127 earth crystals. That's actually pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and have a look. What do I need to do for the earth shrine? Only 40 there. Before I do that, let me finish the system so we are actually generating air crystals again. So that takes 40 as well. There we go. Now, is that a primed system? It is a primed system. Excellent. Let's build our splitter down here then. There we go. And we should get everything we need. So half of the crystals will be going down here to make the mana bricks. Eventually that'll back up. Then half of the remainder will go to making air crystals and also making the air ether. But this one will eventually just fill up with materials. It won't need more than we have. Now, that being said, this could potentially completely back up given enough time. And that is, we've already seen something of that nature happening previously. So let's set this up like this instead. I would like a pusher to drive items in this direction whenever there is an opportunity for it to do so. Something like that. But failing that, as an emergency overflow, I do feel that we need something coming out here. There we go. We'll have this one connect up to this pipe, and this will be how we deliver our crystals to the main circuit. There we are. Perfect. There we go. That will all work quite nicely, I think. Now, as we have noticed, a couple of these buildings can take air crystals. Specifically, the stonemason can take an air booster. Do we really need the stonemason to take an air booster, though? Yes, actually, we probably do. We could also do with some earth boosters over here. All right. So an air booster and an earth booster in the same area. I think I'm down with that. But let's first build the earth shrine. I want to see how this works. I'm guessing it's going to consume earth crystals. Oh, I can't build it. Well, drat. How long until we've got enough? Not actually that long at all. So, okay. Given that then, let's go ahead and build up a little area. We are going to want to start pulling down some air crystals as well. Right now, this system is pretty heavily primed for the use of just the enchanted books, but we do need water coming down here as well. So let's set that up too while we're here. So another mana pipe is leading in there. And once again, we are going to want a pusher, but this one should be for water crystals specifically. There we go. So in general, they're not going to get onto that ring, but that should be fine. This one has to specifically only take white crystals. Now, over here, perhaps we could have the earth and the air crystals going down. If we want specifically white crystals, we could have a little area just carved out for air and earth over here. It might actually fit in quite nicely there. So let me redesign the placement of my air crystals right here. There we go. Sorry, not my air crystals, my regular mana crystals. We're going to copy that. And I please copy it? Nope. Okay. Seems that sometimes it just doesn't want to work for me. Nope. if you use Shift C, it's meant to copy it, but it doesn't seem to want to allow me right now. It's been a bit touch and go with that for me. Thank you very much for the advice in the comments that told me about that feature, but it doesn't seem to be easily replicatable, unfortunately. But there we are. That'll do for now. We'll send the regular mana crystals down in this direction from now on. We'll also break this mana pipe as well, so that we're not having to worry about that one too much. But that one should just feed everything that we need down there. Let's bring that back. We're probably going to want more besides, but let's first make sure that we've got everything else that we want to build. Now, we should have enough to build the Earth Shrine. Yes, we do. Marvelous. Right, let's get that one built down then. Oh, it's quite a range on it too. A very big range, actually. Okay. And how large is this? Well, that can actually hit everything that this is going to hit, so sure. Right, how does this work? Oh, it only uses its power. It does not use the crystal up. Oh. Well, then would that allow you to have one of these over Earth crystals so you never run out of Earth crystals? One would assume it could. Oh, that's very interesting. We can play Earth crystals. This will add Earth boosters to this building, and the same over here. Do we have anything for this one? Alas, no. That's fine though. That's not a problem. So we're going to need air and earth down here in reasonable amounts. Again, these are power banks, so they can recharge. This is going to require a bit more of an extensive recharging setup though, I think. So we're going to go ahead and set that up as fast as we can. Let's expand out a little bit more room over here for us, because I think this is going to be a bit of a tricky one otherwise. We'll have something like that, sure. We've dug into our little caldera over here, so let's make that a little bit nicer where we can. There we go, that'll do. Right, so with that done, let's remove this resource. We're going to probably not have the bricks needed for this, but we can but hope. Well, we've got a mana receiver. Okay, that's not too bad. We could receive the mana. Let's place the piping down first, actually. I think this will be awkward otherwise. So we're going to want earth being peeled off in this direction, and then air in this direction. So if perhaps we had a pipe coming down here, peeling off the air, maybe even filtering it back into the system, and then the earth here, and then a recharger over there leading back in. That's a possibility. Alternative, we could barrel straight down the middle, actually. Yes, I think barreling straight down the middle would be a bit of a better option. We can then have, from the main receiver, we can have air mana peeled off in this direction, and then fed back up into a receiver somewhere around here. Earth mana peeled off in this direction, and this direction, and then the burnt out earth mana peeled off there and back up. It's the delivery method that I'm struggling with. I could have two receivers actually. One there. It's a little bit resource intensive, but it would allow the system to then transmit back into the system from over here and then continue to split up. That would work in my opinion, but let me just go and have a quick look down here. How did I set this one up exactly? Yeah, the pusher fed in and then it just basically clogged the system, unfortunately. We don't really want that to be the case. We're probably going to want an overflow then. We'll have a pusher driving air crystal in one direction, earth crystals in another, and then a bit of an overflow just in case we can't manage it. I think that's probably wise. Just to err on the side of caution with that, rather than just assume that we're going to be able to make it and it'll work perfectly, and unfortunately then end up with a situation where we ultimately don't have enough materials available. In fact, let me move this one around I'm going to swap which side it's on so I've got a little bit more room for transmitters. Maybe the transmitter could be here and pipe directly down. Okay, I think this will probably work. We'll see. All right, let's go ahead and build some receivers. We're going to want 2. One there. And we'll move them as necessary. Both of them need to move up by 1. Of course they do. There we are. And this one as well. Now we're going to want... Oh, good number. I'm going to imagine we're going to need less recharges for the air. So we'll maybe even get away with 1 for the air. But for Earth, I'm going to say we're probably going to want at least 2. Maybe more than that. We'll see. That we can go straight down with air. But we're probably going to want a little bit more than that with Earth. Let's have a quick look at our setup above. We want the transmitter down here. I could even have 3 for Earth, all feeding into the transmitter just down there. That wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea. Let me make a little bit more room with mana pipes over here, though. Something like this should be fine, I would imagine. And we can have one down there as well. Actually, we can give ourselves quite a lot of room if I really wanted to. This would give me a room for 4 recharges for Earth and still 1 for air. That would actually be fine, I think. Sure. Alright, let's go and have a look. Do I have enough to build the mana transmitter? No. Ugh, it's going to take us a while, but we will get there. At least presently we are generating everything we need for the magic forge. It is the crystals now that are holding things back, which is a bit of a problem, but that's fine. We'll continue to feed more and more regular crystals into the system as time goes on, and then that will help us out. Obviously, the air stones are getting into the system at this point, which is grand. Let's go ahead and put the pushers down here, though. So we want a pusher for Earth and a pusher for air. Set that up. Air only, and down here Earth only, and a splitter as well. There we go, and that should be fine. Now, generally speaking, this shouldn't be a problem, but realistically I do only want 1 type of crystal going this way. So actually we'll use filters here, because if I get the wrong crystal, it's gonna back up. It'll eventually get back into the system, but it will clog things for a while. So let's not take any chances there, and instead we'll just use a regular pusher with a filter behind it, just to ensure that if there is room, we are going to feed the correct crystal into the system and then filter it back around. Now, the only issue here is there isn't actually much room for air crystals on this side, and so we're not going to have much of a buffer there. That could potentially be a bit of a problem for me. We could have 2 transmitters, honestly, just feeding into the system. As much as that's going to cost us an extra 40 mana bricks, I think it may actually be the better option. If we have something like this feeding straight out of a transmitter there, then this is going to give us a nice bit of air crystal backlog. So, sure, let's do the same on both sides. We'll have dedicated recharging stations. This one is going to be a bit bigger, because I think that ultimately we're going to need the extra recharging for the earth crystals specifically. And we're just waiting on that last little bit now. How much have we got? 26. Not enough. Move faster. But I think that's going to be a much better system for us. Now, we are going to be needing some water crystals. Thankfully, we've already got a water temple down here. We're just going to need regular crystals and water ether. Is there a water? Oh, there is a water. Some water crystals over there. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to expand this area out quite aggressively. There we go. And over here as well. There. Oh, wow. Okay. Got a lot of water crystals over there. But if things are going to pan out the way I think they are, we might not actually need them. We're currently piping all of these earth stones down Do we actually need to? Probably not. We could probably move the earth stones at this point. I believe once you've researched a stone, you can actually build it yourself. So we should be able to, for example, build a mine over here and just put a bit of air crystals there. As long as we're using the earth shrine to regenerate them, then that would feed this indefinitely. We wouldn't need the 2 population on that harvester drill. It's not strictly something I'm worried about right now, but it is something that we can look at in the future. I think we should have enough. Oh no, we're almost there. 36, so we've got another 4. We will probably be setting up the water crystal in the next episode, and shortly after that, probably 2 episodes later, get the fire crystals as well. And at that point, we'll be able to start looking at the mana reactor and omni stones. Now, I've no idea what omni stones do, except that they do appear to be the very final research item that's in the game at the moment. I am aware that there's a lot more planned, there's a lot more features expected, but we're probably only a couple of episodes away from the wrapping up point for the series. There are various little challenges I could do. I'm not sure if I'm going to do them though, like for example getting the town being fed by every type of resource to its maximum. That would probably involve covering this entire map in industry. Oh my lord. But I definitely want to be able to play around with the final bits of the puzzle. But we do have enough bricks now, so we can go at least get the air crystals into this system and actually feeding in there. So now we've got that, let's get air crystals into the mix. Right, I'm going to want, you know what, sure, let's do something like this instead. There we are. That'll be quite nice. And I would like, again, we've got an out point for this. Technically speaking, we've got an output down here as well. Realistically though, do we really need it? I think at this stage we could actually add in a final overflow over here and actually take away the filter. There's something about having filters that I dislike. I'll be honest with you. Right, so we could have instead if we have a look over there, just a pusher on this side that is taking care of that. Oh, though that being said, we are assuming that the only thing coming down here right now is white crystals. Yeah, probably best to leave that as it is then. But over here we can handle either source, and that shouldn't cause any trouble. The only ones that should go that way are earth and air. So let's go ahead and just have a basic pusher setup. Again though, that said, it's not actually going to hurt me to put in the filters. A little bit of sanitizing my inputs probably would never hurt. There we go. But I'm always looking for ways that I can reduce the amount of clutter in the system. Let's have a watch of this one in action then. There we go. As much of the air as we can take, all getting into the system. There we are. Now let's have a watch of you. That's taking you up to 360% with 1 worker in there, which is actually quite impressive, I must say. And we've already fed quite a lot into here. You'll notice that this is a little stump. It's depleted, but that can be recharged. A mine will never completely eat the resource. It'll just leave these little depleted nodes, and I'm assuming that those little sparkles on the ground there are the resources themselves being filled in again. That's actually pretty cool. When this has got full mana boost, it's actually doing quite well. We are currently full of all of the mana that we could take. That's actually pretty impressive. And now we're starting to back things up a little bit. Okay, well, so far so good. The only thing we need down here is a mana transmitter, but that's going to be a little while because we're going to be waiting on a lot of basic mana to get down here and fed into the system. We are, wow, look at all that earth mana in the pipes there. My goodness, we've got a fair old bit of white mana down there, but wow. That is going to take a bit of time before that gets filtered all the way through. But for the time being, I think the system is working well. I really do hope you've enjoyed this episode today. I am, as I mentioned, going to be looking at water crystals in the next episode and getting our water research on the go, but that's going to be it for me. So until next time, and as always, do take care, everyone.